Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and it seems every time we look behind the curtain of video games, we find something shady. A system that manipulates video game players into spending more and more money in video game microtransactions that, while they seem new to us, invariably we discover that patents and designs and strategies had been in place for months or even sometimes years. Some of you may recall the engagement-optimized matchmaking patent that literally matched online gamers with each other in order to showcase macrotransaction items to a player, placing them into a match that would be favorable for the items in question, setting them up where the match would be won and the item in question would likely play a significant role. It is a massive and convoluted means of literally dictating the outcomes of matches in order to push quote-unquote engagement, which in the games industry means we pay them more money and spend time within their digital storefronts that they call video games. And it would seem that SegmentNext.com has uncovered yet another patent owned by Electronic Arts that is rather anti-consumer in nature. So let's take a look, and as always, links to anything publicly available will be in the description down below. Specifically, it is referencing this patent titled Systems and Methods for Providing Offers Within a Game Space That Decrease in Value Based Upon Previous Acceptances of the Offers. This patent originally filed in November of 2014 by Aftershock and was then assigned to the company that owned them at the time, Kabam. The patent itself made its way into the hands of Electronic Arts 4 years later in February of 2018, although whether the patent itself was purchased by Electronic Arts or whether this was due to a studio acquisition remains unclear to me at this time. And the patent itself is a blueprint to push microtransactions via a sense of urgency through devaluation, meaning if a player wants to reap the maximum benefits from the items, skins, or loot boxes that they are buying, they would need to make that purchase as soon as possible. Now, per SegmentNext.com, Electronic Arts had provided a statement that confirmed this patent is not being used in any of its current games, stating, "The patent is not part of any current EA games or technology, and we are not planning to include it in any of our games. The patent was originally filed years ago without any of our involvement and came to EA through a previous asset acquisition." So that's the basic information we're working with here, and while it's obviously not a great deal of information, I think this sort of thing is important for people to remain aware of. Because while yes, Electronic Arts claims these methods are not currently in any of their games, there are two aspects that need to be considered. The first is that Electronic Arts lies so often to gamers that they make politicians seem positively scrupulous by comparison. They have constantly misdirected people and manipulated their players to such an extent that one simply cannot trust what they say without multiple sources of hard evidence to back them up. The second is that if we assume they are being forthright in their assertion, they simply say that it is not part of any current games or technology owned or operated by EA. Much like the engagement optimization patent, there's only one reason to patent such an idea, and that is because eventually it will be used in a game or possibly many games as we see the AAA industry build up speed with their live services offerings and complete reliance on games to serve as formulaic platforms that do little else than push macrotransactions through what they call engagement.
Captain.
The sad thing is, creating a sense of urgency is a time-honored, sleazy car salesman tactic that has been around probably for as long as sleazy salesmen have been. It's a reimagining of the old, "I've got a couple of other buyers on the line," or the limited time offer, "get it while supplies last," and many other cliched claims. This is a system that forces stress to buy through the use of arbitrary availability of digital goods. By its very design, it is intended to manipulate people to the point that it bypasses the player's logic and forces them to act on impulse through an element of fear that if they don't buy now, their dollar or euro or whatever form of currency they use won't get them as much as it would right now. Arbitrary rarity with digital goods is also nothing new within video games. It is the taking of an infinitely replicatable item, such as a skin or a weapon that is literally already present within the game, and your access is blocked via nothing more than an on-off switch. It is this arbitrary rarity that drives the economies, or rather skinonomies, of countless video games. This whole business with these patents discussed here and many others really is disheartening to see within the industry. It really is. And I'm sure that more and more patents will be uncovered that will probably be far more nefarious than this one. Actually, now it's gotten my curiosity. I think I'm going to start looking up patents and their creators to see what other patents within the video games industry they've cooked up to try and part people from their money through nefarious means. It's been a while since I sat down and done some real digging into things outside of the usual culprits, so it'll be a bit fascinating, at least for me, to see what else is out there. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and for God's sake, subscribe if you find my videos interesting or informative. Also, don't forget to ring the bell because I tend to upload at rather non-standard times. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.